What is going on, campers? Chopsy Doodle finally coming at you with the Rainbow Mothman, or at least my take on a Rainbow Mothman beatdown deck. I'll show the deck list on screen real quickly here. You got your lanterns and your trails, and I was pretty picky about my lanterns, but we'll go over that when we get to the TTS. Trails are kind of whatever you're feeling, although I feel like these are the best ones, except for maybe I should have switched like town or dark sky for uh, the lapis one. The lapis one might be a good idea, to be honest. Um, as for the main deck, we've got some stuff from Jack-O-Lantern Trails, but a lot of the stuff is from Kickstarter, and most of it is from Mothman. So we're gonna go over the deck, and I'll keep that on screen for a second, and then that way you can pause it up and check it out. And then, yeah, we'll pop right over to the TTS. Alright, so, basics of the deck. You're always going to have your wish fulfilling jewel. Can't go anywhere without that. I tossed a All Hallows Eve campfire in just because it's a good finisher if the game goes late. Um, we have our trails. Like I said, that's kind of at your own discretion. These are the ones I went with, although I think that maybe a lapis would be a good idea. So maybe switch out a town or a dark sky, but really just go with the Mothman that you like. Of course, we're gonna have the Mothman reunion. Now the way this card works is, let's say for example, see Mothman has, or the Obsidian Mothman has +3 versus Quartz. Proximo has +3 versus Obsidian. Now, if I have this on the field, um, they gain each other's bonuses basically. So while the Obsidian one is on the field, the Proximo one will gain +3 versus Quartz. Or sorry, will gain +2/+2 because it's on the card actually versus Quartz. And the Obsidian one will gain +2/+2 versus Obsidian because it gives you a bonus of another Mothman that you have out. So if that wasn't clear, that's how that works. But it doesn't give you their bonus. It gives you +2 attack and +2 defense towards what their bonus would be towards. Now we cut that out of the way. Lanterns. Let's talk lanterns here. Of course, we're going to go with the 4 Luminary Moth Lanterns because that can be used to play anything with Mothman in its name, and that includes the Mothman statue. Actually, I believe it says anything with moth in its name. So, yeah, anything with moth in any part of its name can be played by that. So Catechid Moth obviously can be played by that anyway, since it's just a 1 gem type. As for the other lanterns, we have 2 Fluorite because of memories, and sorry, yeah, 2 Fluorite because of memories and 3 Fulgurite because of memories. And then the extra Obsidian is because we have a bunch of extra Obsidian Mothman in the deck. Now, out of the 2 unique Mothman, you can really choose whichever one you want to be your leader, and then the other one's going to go inside your deck. I would probably prefer having this Mothman as your leader, and when you play him, he actually gives night, so having that available is nice. Even though I didn't put any other weather, you do have night triggers in this deck from the other 2 Obsidian Mothman and the other unique Mothman, so having him ready to go whenever I think is the better idea, in this deck anyway. Now, as for why we have Fulgurite and Fluorite Jack-O-Lanterns, and well, it can be anything you want. I kind of just tossed in some Jack-O-Lanterns and some Moth Lanterns just for fun. But it can be any basic Fulgurite. and any basic fluorite or any basic obsidian jack-o'-lantern. Now for the spells, I put an aviator because it's a draw 2 and a discard environment. So you can use that to offensively take out your opponent's environments, which I think is pretty strong. And 2 draw is not too bad for 1 gem cost. Over the Storm, I think, is just a phenomenal card for this deck. Your sites with flyer cryptids in them can't be explored by cryptids without flyer. So if you filled up your entire board with Mothman, you could play this, and if they don't have any flyers, they just literally can't explore your board at all. So I think that could be very powerful. And again, this deck is really just a beatdown, so defending your cryptids is also a good idea. As for other memories, we've got card reading. Card reading just lets you dig through your deck and find anything you want, really. Camper, because it costs just a normal gem, or an any color gem, I should say. You can use it to just cycle through your deck and draw 1 card for 1 vision, or if your opponent has a CZO in their graveyard, you can pay an extra vision to steal that CZO. I believe that you have to do the second effect though, so it says choose a CZO and a rival discard. Pay the chosen CZO's cost using any combination to activate. If there is no CZO that can be chosen, draw 1 card. So if you get this early, you might want to just cycle it for a draw if you have nothing else to play. But it can be used to steal a CZO from your opponent with any color of gem, basically. Trick or Treat is also playable with any color gem. If they pick Trick, they give you 4 trick patches, which will allow you to play traps. There's only 2 traps in this deck, but I mean, getting, playing this and getting the amount that you need to play the rest of your traps for the deck, or even just getting the draw, is always good. And again, because it's gem, it's easy to play in this deck. Same with Swap. Swap can be useful. You can use that to do surprise explorers on your opponent. You can just switch to companions, like 2 of your cryptids, and they still both get to explore because you use swap to switch them. You didn't use their action. Other than that, it's just a basic beatdown deck, so you're going to want to take advantage of getting your cryptids out as quick as possible and getting those explorers in. Each of your Mothman has a specific ability. Some of the best ones, I think, are the Obsidian one, where humanoid insectoid cryptids adjacent to it receive -2 reduced damage. That's huge. Spotted Mothman, also very good, and why I keep making a case for the Lapis Trail, because you draw one whenever he encounters something, so you want to be fighting with him. The reason why I didn't put one of these trails in is because if you're going to be moving him around a lot, then putting one of his trails there doesn't really make sense. Core meta you can use to move your opponent's thing around. I think Nerium's one of the best combat Mothman because you can get the +3/+3 patch on it, which I think is very good. Luna is also a very good passive moth to have on the board, putting -1/-1 patches on any cryptid on the board, and that's the end of each day, so at the end of everybody's turn, not just yours. The Obsidian Mothman, the monthly, is really good because it's a coin flip whether they can even explore that site or not, which is really good. Proximo, you can force fights, so once you have a Proximo down, it kind of locks out lower health cryptid plays. Very good in my opinion. So I believe I included a grassland, right? Yeah. So you want a grassland because you can put like your grassland in the back and just have Proximo sit on your grassland and then have him fight from the grassland. Rosie is okay. Get a +1/+1 patch on a cryptid of your choice. Don't make the mistake of putting it on a near him before he's done his first attack, because then you will lose out on the +3/+3 patch. And then of course Catechid. Now Catechid is kind of the cornerstone of this deck, and if you notice I have a lot more than 4 in here. That's because you can have 8 Catechids. If you look at the top, there's a gray bar that says you may have up to 8 copies of this cryptid in your deck. During your camp phase, you may put this cryptid into your hand and then play a non-unique cryptid with Mothman in its name directly from your hand into the same site for 2 less vision. So unfortunately it can't be used for the 5 cost Mothman, but it can be used for any of the rare ones. So you want to be getting these out as soon as possible and then switching them out for your Mothman. The great thing is that it goes back in your hand, so now you have something to toss down as a 1 cost defender, or even just to block when they're trying to explore a site, so they don't get any evidence since you're in defense mode. So if you play this turn 1 and it stays okay, you set it down turn 1 and it stays okay. Then turn 2 comes around, you have 2 vision. You flip this over for 1 vision, and then you use its effect immediately to play one of your Mothman for 1 vision, because it reduces the Mothman's cost by 2. So once you have 2, and hopefully you have 4 Luminary Moth Lanterns, so you should at some point, I would say by at least the 3rd lantern, draw one of these. The hard part's going to be if you end up drawing card reading and you don't draw a fluorite for a while or something like that, or somehow you end up drawing all your normal lanterns, and you don't draw your luminaries, then you might not be able to play any of your Mothman. But I feel like that's, with 4 luminaries, it's 40% chance that you draw that, and the chance gets greater every turn you draw a lantern that's not that. So I feel like it's a pretty good chance to get it, by turn 2 or 3. That's the hope anyway. But yeah, I hope you guys like my my Rainbow Mothman Beatdown. Oh, by the way, what this does is it basically goes through your discard pile and grabs all your cryptids, puts them on the board, and since it plays them immediately, they essentially have Swift, since they've been played directly from the discard pile, so they can act that turn. But they also gain Rush, which means that they can move into territories as well if they want to. So, yeah. Oh no, that's Raid. What is? I'm gonna have to look up what Rush is again. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this is my my Rainbow Moth deck, and I will have to try it out at some point. I feel like it's pretty good. It's not, if I want to build a competitive one, I might take a bunch of the random moss out and make it more towards obsidian fluorite, at least for the creatures. But if you just want to have a fun rainbow deck and have fun with the all Mothman type, then I think this is a pretty decent deck. I don't think you'll get too stuck with your lanterns, but it is still a gamble. So don't get mad at me if you get lantern screwed. But until next time, thank you guys for watching the videos, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.